Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. This is the third part of our WordPress on AWS series. If you haven't seen the previous part where we deployed a simple WordPress website on EC2 and RDS, you can click on I button to watch it. In this video, we will see how to implement load balancing for our website through application Load Balancer, which is often abbreviated as ALB. ALB handles distribution of the traffic, so if you have multiple instances of same website, then it will handle all the incoming requests and equally distributes requests to healthy instances. ALB also supports SSL offloading that we will see in upcoming part. Let's see how we can create an application load balancer in our AWS account. Let's recap what we have done so far. We have created an EC2 instance as a virtual server, created a RDS instance for database, and hosted this simple WordPress website on it. Currently, as we can see, we are accessing our website from public IP and it's not secure. So we will add a load balancer pointing to our EC2 instance. Go to Instances tab. From the left side panel, scroll down and click on Load Balancers. Here we can see we don't have any load balancers. So let's create one. There are mainly three load balancer types as we can see here. ALB is for HTTP and HTTPS traffic. Network load balancer is for TCP and UDP traffic. Gateway load balancer, which is the newest one, is for third-party security appliances. For our use case, we need to select an application load balancer. Give a name to ALB. For the scheme, make sure to select internet facing as we want to access our load balancer publicly. On the IP address type, if you want to support only IPv4, then select IPv4, otherwise select dual stack. I will select dual stack as it supports both IPv4 and IPv6. In the network section, select your VPC. If you have multiple VPC, make sure to select the same VPC where you have created your EC2 instance. We have to select availability zones for our load balancer that will be supported by this ALB. Availability zones are the physical locations of your region where the data center is located. Minimum recommendation is to select at least 2 AZs and spread your instances across those availability zones. Make sure to select the AZ in which your EC2 instance is created. You can check AZ by going to EC2, click on Running Instances, and here we can see AZ as US East 1 day. AWS will automatically select subnets for those AZs. I will select any three availability zones, including the AZ where my EC2 instance is created. Under the security group settings, we will not gonna use default security group. Click on this link to create a new security group for the ALB. Here, enter name and the description of the security group. Make sure correct VPC is selected. For the inbound rules, we have to create two new rules. One is for HTTP and another one is for HTTPS. We will allow it from 0.0.0.0/0, which is all the IP from the internet. Add description of the rules. Keep this as default. To identify this security group, we will add name tag to it and click on Create Security Group. Once this is done, copy the ID of the newly created security group. Move back to Load Balancer screen. Click on Refresh and paste ID of the security group we just created. For the listeners, we can add HTTP and HTTPS, both protocols. For now, we will just select HTTP. Now to route traffic from load balancer to EC2, we will need a target group, which is logical grouping of resources. Click on Create Target Group. Enter name of the target group. Select your VPC and keep everything else default. Click Next. On this screen, we will select our WordPress instance. We only have one EC2 instance, but if we had multiple instances of the same site, then we will select all those as well. Click on Include as Pending below and create target group. Here we can see we have created our WordPress site target group, and currently it is not associated with any load balancer. Let's add this to our load balancer. From the drop down, select newly created target group. Keep everything else default. Note that adding web or global accelerator will incur additional charges, and we don't need those as part of this series, so I will skip them for now. Let's review quickly. We have created an internet-facing load balancer, created a security group for it, added ALB to applicable availability zones, and added target group for HTTP requests. Everything looks good. Click on Create Load Balancer. Load Balancer is created successfully. Let's check target group association. Click on Refresh and we can see our WordPress ALB under Load Balancer tab. From the Targets tab, we can see our EC2 instance. Click on the refresh here. Currently, EC2 is being added to the target group. Let's wait for it to be healthy. Please note here that if your instance is unhealthy here, means your EC2 instance is not sending proper health checks and Load Balancer cannot send requests to it. So make sure your instance is healthy. Let's check our Load Balancer as well. It's in provisioning state. We have to wait for it to become active and make sure our EC2 instance is healthy as well. It will take about 2 to 3 minutes. Meanwhile, I have a very kind request. Most of you watch the videos but don't subscribe.
दिल से बुरा लगता है यार.
Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free for you guys and it helps us a lot. Now let's go back to the AWS console. Here we can see our load balancer is in active state and our instance is also healthy in target group. Here we can see all the details of the LB. Under listeners, we can see HTTP listener for WP site target group, which will send requests to our EC2 instance. Let's check if this is working or not. Copy DNS of the load balancer from here and open it on a new browser tab. This is great. We can access our WordPress site from Load Balancer DNS. Now that we have set up Load Balancer, we can see our site is still being accessible from direct IP. To improve security, we need to disable this. Click on EC2 dashboard and go to security group. Here, copy ID of the Load Balancer security group. Select security group attached to EC2 instance and go to inbound rules. Click on edit inbound rules. Here, instead of this HTTP and HTTPS rules, we have to create two new rules which only allow HTTP and HTTPS traffic from our load balancer security group and not from the whole world. Select HTTP and HTTPS as type. In the source, paste security group ID of ALB, add description, and save rules. We are now only allowing traffic from ALB and not from any other source. Let's check if we can access our server through public IP or not. The site is not loading. Eventually, it will time out. Now we can access our website only through Load Balancer, which is a great upgrade on our architecture. In this part, we have created an application load balancer and mapped it to a target group, added our EC2 instance as target for HTTP listener, and in the end, created rules and security groups to only allow traffic from the application load balancer. This is it for this video. In the next video, we will map our website domain to load balancer via Route 53 and then apply SSL on it. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. It's free for you guys, but it helps us a lot and motivates us to create free useful content. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. See you guys on the next part of our WordPress on AWS series. Until then, happy cloud computing.